This is Tom Duty, middle-aged American living in New Jersey near the Lincoln Tunnel. If you were to visit my website, you would type Howdy Doody into Google. You'll find the correct spelling of the famous puppet. You then combine Tom Duty in a Google search for my site. These are 7 languages. This Ethiopian one is a bonus. This happens to be something I know, how to say thank you in Ethiopian, but I did not learn it here in South Africa. So this video is going to say how to say thank you in all these languages, and it is arrived at by field testing. I have not. I misspelled some of these languages, and if I had also written how to say thank you, I would have been trying to spell foreign words from sound. So I would have sure to make mistakes. I have not researched. I have not Googled these. So I did that for a purpose. If what I found by my tourist field study didn't match Google, then I would have been in a quandary. So I purposely did not research these sayings. So here's what I did do. The first one that I had trouble with was Kosa. So the people who speak this language are called Kosa, and the language is called Kosa. I know I spelled it C-O-S-A. I have a feeling it might be K-O-S-A. Again, I have not checked. The people are called Kosa. The language is called Kosa, and thank you is Nkos. So I had the most trouble with that one, even though it sounds very simple, and people were not picking up that I said thank you. And even if they spoke Kosa, because I would try to find out why they didn't get it. And sometimes I was just wrong. They didn't speak Kosa, and I kind of started understanding what language people were more likely to speak. So the point is that even though I did not check these on Google, even though I don't vouch that my pronunciation is correct, each of these I have field studied where people who speak these languages realized I just said thank you. So whether the pronunciation is on or not is not something I claim to say with any precision. However, the way I'm saying it in this video is recognized as thank you by the people who speak these languages. In addition to that, again, these are my statements of pre-quality. In addition to that, I am still in South Africa. My vacation is one more day, which I don't expect to pick up any additional languages tomorrow. That's why I'm doing this tonight. And then the following day is a travel day. So I deliberately waited till the end. I wanted to do it before I left, and I happen to have some time right now. My wife is resting. We stopped home before dinner. So here I go. Here are the 7 languages. Again, the last one is a bonus. It is not intended to help anyone who is visiting South Africa. I will have keywords, language, South Africa, thank you, and so on. So here we go. French, obviously, is merci. English is thank you. And then Shona. Shona is a language that is spoken, not the only one. Shona is spoken in Zimbabwe, and Shona, Maitabasa. Okay, I said I didn't know how to spell these. It just so happens that our Uber driver spelled this for me. I didn't really ask him, but he volunteered. M-A-I-T-A-B-A-S-A, Maita, M-A-I, Tabasa, T-A-B-A-S-A, Maitabasa. It's the only one I'm going to spell. Well, merci and thank you, M-E-R-C-I in French. Thank you, T-H-A-N-K, space Y-O-U. Shona is Maitabasa, M-A-I-T-A-B-A-S-A. And then Swahili. Now, Swahili, I'm sure I misspelled the language. So listeners, if you're listening, please. Wow, he doesn't know how to spell Swahili. I don't. I could check. I didn't. That's why I left it misspelled. And I honestly don't know how to spell it, but I am pretty sure that's wrong. So Swahili is Asante Sana. That's the one I'm least confident in. In other words, I've field tested these. I've talked to several people who speak Swahili, and but in other words, this one is practiced the least. Swahili is a foreign language to South Africa, but there are many people here who speak it. Afrikaans, and again, here's Afrikaans. I'm sure it's misspelled, and no, I don't know how to spell it, but it is basically, it's also called Kitchen Dutch as a nickname for it. It is mostly Dutch. That is traced back in history to the Dutch East Indies Company, which was the Amazon of slavery. And Afrikaans is donkey. And by the way, listeners, if you've somehow your keywords hook you up with this video, this is a killer useful phrase for you, because you're going to be, if you're in Cape Town, you're going to be hit by these beggars, and their gig is different than anything I've experienced. They beg in the most desperate ways, and in these, please, I'm hungry, and just hard to walk away from these people giving them nothing. I sometimes gave them something. I negotiated with them to figure out what would please them. It's just tough. The beggars in Cape Town are tough. But anyways, they, without exception from my experience, of course there are exceptions, but without exception from my experience, and I faced 50 of them, they speak Afrikaans. So donkey is thank you. No donkey is a good way to get them to turn away. And no donkey doesn't sound like it's forceful. Again, it's not the fuck word. It's not anything rude. It's no donkey. But the way I said it and the way I rehearsed it and the way I practiced it, it seemed to tell them, okay, this guy gets it. I'm going to go find weaker fish in the pool. And so sometimes these very persistent, very desperate sounding homeless people would go away with knee donkey. But anyways, back to my list. Afrikaans, third from the bottom. Donkey. Then the next one is Xhosa. Now I'm referring to that one a second time because I used it as an example in the beginning because it was to illustrate how my field testing works. So in other words, when I first started saying Nkos, it wasn't working. My pronunciation was a little bit off. And the way I'm saying it now is field tested. People are recognizing it as Xhosa. Now, the people that work the people that work on top of Table Mountain, they seem to all speak Xhosa. So I didn't have to ask them what they speak. Nkos was recognized in the cafe, taking the tickets, in the souvenir shop, all the way around, out the people who, I might ask about the animals or something I might be looking at. Nkos. Great, great word. That's the most common of all these. Nkos. In other words, people that speak Afrikaans who don't speak Xhosa are limited in numbers. Afrikaans is spoken by Cape Town people, and most of those people also speak Xhosa. And then the last one is a bonus. My field testing has not said that will be found in Cape Town. I just happen to know it. I know it from Washington, D.C. Now, a side note, my friend and I, Adam and I, get in arguments about stupid things, and sometimes I realize we're arguing about vocabulary. I can't use a word in the argument because we have to revisit the meaning of that word. I say, Adam, can we just call it something else? And I can't think of an example where this word, but this is the word I always choose. It's amasakanando. Amasakanando. And not only is that fields tested by me in Washington, D.C. and New York, and here I didn't find anyone speaking Ethiopian here, but my pronunciation is spot on. People can, I'm white, I'm in D.C., I see someone who's Ethiopian, I say amasakanando and their ears will turn. My pronunciation is close enough. They know that I've said thank you in Ethiopian. They don't know why I would be, and they wonder if I speak Ethiopian, which of course they realize in a second I don't, but my pronunciation is good. So anyways, listeners, that's a handy word. It's a beautiful word. It's a melodic word, and it's recognized as thank you. Amasakanando. So that's my list from this setting right here, right now. I'm going to do a video that follows on economy and politics, liberal democracies, conservatism, and the gap between poor and the wealthy. I am in Bakoven, which is a part of a little barrio of, it's a residential barrio of Camps Bay. These are both part of Cape Town. It's been Tom Duty, middle-aged American living in New Jersey near the Lincoln Tunnel. If you were to visit my website, you would type Howdy Doody into Google. You find the correct spelling of the famous puppet. You then combine Tom Duty and a Google search for my site. Right here, and that camera's probably too low, so it just gets sky, but from where I am, I can see water, and that's the Atlantic Ocean. But literally, you just dial a little bit to the east, and it's the Indian Ocean. So this is a very southern part of the southern tip of Africa, and that's kind of true and kind of not true. You certainly can't see the southern tip of the continent from here. What you can see is the Cape of Good Hope, and the very southern tip. And by the way, listeners, that's commonly believed to be the southern tip of Africa. It is not. I learned that on this trip. The real tip of southern Africa, if you look on a map, you'll see what it is. I'm not going to say it because most people think that's not it. But anyways, you can see what's commonly believed to be the southern tip of South Africa, of Africa, of the continent, and that's Cape of Good Hope. Ciao.